Greetings ladies and gentlemen, it's Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Here with a list of some really shitty cards. As you can probably see in the title of the video, which is like right down there. Oh wow, can you believe it's been an entire year since I made this piece of shit? Look at it, no background, barely any scripting, boring monotone voice, microphone buzzing out the ass. For all the shit I give to uninspired, low-effort Yugi-tubers, I sure seem to have started out as one. But hey, I didn't exactly expect to rise up to be a locomotive with a line of 11,000 railcars behind it within a single year, so as my thanks to you all for sticking with me, here's part 2 of my very first video, showcasing some archetypal support cards that just do little to nothing to actually support their own archetype. Mind you, this isn't a list in any specific order, because just like the first video, sorting these cards out by their objective crappiness is pretty much impossible, seeing how they're all pretty terrible. So, let's kick it off with the shit I forgot to put into the first video, Man See and Chronomaly Mayan Machine in a shared spot. Now, why is that? Well, because they have something silly in common in their effects. Let's start off with Man See. It's a level 2 light thunder type monster with 0 attack and defense, and its effect is: if all Man See you control are in attack position, all machine type monsters you control get 500 attack for each of them, and if they're all in defense, all machine type monsters get 500 defense for each of them. Seems pretty basic for an offense focused deck for Inside period, right? Now, here's a list of Man monsters that can be boosted by Man See. Oh well, that's unfortunate. Seems they forgot what type they base their monsters on when they shut out this thing. Also, I can't really think of any machine decks at the time that would benefit much from running this. And as for Chronomaly Mayan Vacuum Cleaner, well, it can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a machine-type monster. Alright, fair enough. Can we please, put up a list of Chronomaly monsters that need 2 tributes? What is that? They don't exist? Well, now I feel silly. And not only that, but their only monsters that would require 1 tribute are all rock-type monsters. Is there like an internet Konami who used to work on their pachinko machines and runs an outdated slot machine deck so he occasionally jumps in while people are on a coffee break to change the effect of a random card to generic machine support? If so, dude, please leave it for archetypes that are actually based on machines. Thank you in advance. Going back to the dearly beloved draw engine pretending to be an archetype, we got Destiny hero Moonman, also known as Departed. He's a level 2 Dark Warrior with 1000 attack and 0 defense, and during your standby phase, if this card is in your graveyard, special summon it in face-up attack position to your opponent's side of the field. If it's destroyed by battle, banish it instead of sending it to the graveyard, and if a card effect would send this card to the graveyard from the hand or deck, banish it instead. Ah yes, because giving free shit to your opponent with no drawbacks whatsoever for them is precisely what this game needed more of. Pretty much the only use of this thing is if the opponent has a monster you absolutely cannot run over, so you resort to attacking into this in order to deal any damage, but given the fact that we're talking about Destiny heroes here, whose playstyle as an actual archetype was basically non-existent until recent support and their attack values used to range around the miserable 1000, there really wasn't much you could use Departed for. The funniest thing though is that the only way of actually activating this card's effect of giving it to your opponent is either discarding it, naturally as a cost, or having it be destroyed by a card effect on the field, since all other options just banish it instead. No man, we screwed up. Giving free shit to your opponent is so fucking OP. We gotta circumvent this travesty. Oh, we should make it the worst discard fodder ever. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Ship it. While on the topic of heroes, anyone remember Bubbleman? Nah, not that one. I mean the one that's almost impossible to summon at the moment, both in the TCG and the OCG. Elemental Hero Neo New Turbo HD Remix Bubbleman is, much like old Bubbleman, a level 4 Water Warrior with 800 attack and 1200 defense. It cannot be normal summoned or set, and can only be special summoned by discarding a Metamorphosis in your hand and sending an Elemental Hero Bubbleman you control to the graveyard. This card is treated as Elemental Hero Bubbleman while on the field. Destroy an opponent's monster that battles with this card at the end of the damage step. Ew, boy, so this is quite the clusterfuck of uselessness, isn't it? First of all, the summoning condition requires you to control a Bubbleman, as well as have Metamorphosis and Neo Bubbleman in the hand. This is also made slightly more difficult by the fact that Metamorphosis is banned, although you can always use a Wild Monster Piers, even though I'm not sure why you would wanna do that. Next up, it's treated as regular Bubbleman while on the field, for all those useful Bubbleman fusions to extend your plays, obviously. And when it battles a monster, destroy that monster at the end of the damage step, or in the words of everyone in Arc 5 ever, but you'll still take damage! So when you absolutely positively need to get rid of something with more than a grand total of 800 attack, be sure to use this prototype version of Mask Change to turn your Bubbleman into a glass cannon, actually more like an ass cannon, if you're really so desperate to get rid of that Jerry Beans man. Next up on the list is Black...
Hey, rank 10 guy.
What?
Yeah, I think I got a card for your list.
Who are you? How are you doing that? This is my video.
Check it out. Malakota, Netherlord of the Burning Abyss.
How is Malakoda bad Archetype support?
Well, you know, it's a ritual monster. And it's in Burning Abyss. They don't use ritual monsters.
Just because it's unusual support doesn't make it bad. It was clearly designed with Burning Abyss in mind, and it does benefit the archetype. People just don't play it because there are better options in the deck.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
Okay, whatever that was. As I was saying, let's spin the shitty Blackwing support wheel and see what avian platter is on the menu today. Oh my, it seems we shall be having delicious chicken breast in the form of Brisote the Tailwind. It's a level 5 dark winged beast with 1200 attack and 1800 defense. Shape Snatch would be so proud. And its effect is, if 2 or more Blackwing monsters you control are destroyed in the same turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a synchro material monster, you gain 600 life points. Obviously, as if arriving in the last desperate moment to avenge her fallen comrades, Brisote gets wiped away just as easily due to her absolutely miserable stats, is what someone would presume to be how the card works. Your shitty Blackwing monsters get destroyed by your opponent's Fierce, Moon, Mirror Shield, Hayabusa, Night Beatdown, so you special summon this from your hand during that turn to quickly prevent a direct attack. But if we take a short trip to the rulings page, we can notice a curious detail. You can only special summon this card with its effect during your main phases. So essentially what this card is the most underwhelming comeback from a Mirror Force you could ever make. To top it all off, its level is very awkward for Blackwing synchro plays, but naturally it's all worth it because 600 life points, obviously to restore the ones you spent on the effect of your wing condition, Blackwing fucking Dragon. Next up we have Cyber Barrier Dragon, a level 6 light machine with 800 attack and 2800 defense and the following effect. This card cannot be normal summoned or set, and it cannot be special summoned except with attack reflector unit. Once per turn, while this card is in attack position, your opponent's next attack is negated. Alright, so that's pretty fucking terrible, so let's see what this attack reflector unit actually does. Tribute 1 Cyber Dragon. Special summon 1 Cyber Barrier Dragon from your hand or deck. Riveting! So, what do Cyber Dragons do? Get lots of attack points, OTK out the ass.
Hello, my baby! Hello, my honey!
Star in luxurious Broadway shows, whatever it is, Cyber Barrier Dragon is not it. First of all, why make the card rely on being in attack position if it's this pumped up with defense points? Is it because of monsters with more than 2800 attack? In that case, I think you have more problems to worry about than just that one monster, because if the opponent has that kind of a beater on the field, having a smaller monster alongside it is very much a thing that can happen. To add insult to injury, it has a stupidly specific special summoning condition, while its effect is barely worded even if you could normal summon it. If your plan of protection in Cyber Dragons really is attack reflector unit, I want to make a friendly recommendation of a handy little card called Magic Cylinder. But here's a fun fact. This is one of the only 3 main deck level 6 light machine type monsters in the game. And you know what that means. Now we have a very recent card, again proving that Konami literally never ever learns how to handle this game. Raid Raptor Wild Vulture is a level 6 dark winged beast with 1600 attack and 2000 defense, and during your main phase, if the card was normal or special summoned this turn, you can tribute it to special summon 2 Raid Raptors from your hand or graveyard whose total levels equal 6. If you just so happen to know elementary school level maths, you could deduce that this means you can special summon 2 level 3 Raid Raptors, of which there's a grand total of 1 fucking monster in the game. Actually, this card is such a piece of liquid ass that we need to address absolutely everything we can about it. It's a level 6 in a rank 4 focused archetype. That means it needs a tribute, which is something Raid Raptors can hardly afford. Special summons a pair of only 1 specific monster, which is not even good. Special summons them only from the hand and graveyard, meaning it requires too much setup for what it actually does, and it has crappy stats on top of it all. Fiend Eagle, which is the only Raid Raptor rank 3, has an okay effect if anything, but given how much effort Raid Raptors actually need to put in to summon it, I don't think okay is an acceptable result. Actually, you know what? Fuck all these 3. Who made this? Who had the idea of giving Shun a rank 3 engine out of nowhere? Why did it take them until the manga to give Shun a better rank 4? Why did Shun summon Ultimate Falcon twice only for it to be destroyed both those times? Why did Shun summon 3 Force Trixes while letting Sora build an OTK? Why did that duel last the entire night? Who in the production team hates this poor bird?
Hey, ranking YugiTube guy.
What? Is this the same one from before, or is there more of you?
Alright, check this one out. Harpies Brother. I mean, talk about terrible support. He doesn't even support anything. He's a fucking normal monster.
Seriously? That's because Harpies Brother isn't bad support, he just isn't support at all. That's not a Harpy card, that's just another stupid TCG name that they eventually changed to Sky Scout. The card you're showing is 12 years old.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I'm sorry. I'll just go reevaluate my life then.
Why is this happening? Alright, whatever, this at least allows me to transition from one bird into another, I guess, that being Heraldic Beast Bernie Sanders Falcon. It's a level 4 wind-winged beast with 1000 attack and 1600 defense, and when it's summoned you can make all face-up level 5 or higher monsters you control become level 4. What's the problem here? Of course, every single Heraldic Beast monster is level 4 and rank 4, therefore you can't use this for anything in Heraldics unless you're actively running mind control for whatever reason. If it was useful in any higher rank spam focused archetypes to make for a quick useful rank 4, I would have cut it some slack, but the problem lies in the simple fact that if you want to be making rank 4s, you will be running pretty much only level 4 monsters, and decks focused on higher ranks rarely have the option to summon this after already controlling a high level monster. But hey, looks like they printed that rank 4 train, maybe I should splash in a couple of these birds in my train deck because memes. There was 4 birds in this video so far. That's too many, we should have an abomination from the depths of inhuman agony instead. Gimmick Puppet Nightmare is a level 8 dark machine with 1000 attack and 2000 defense, and its effect is the following. You can special it from your hand by tributing one face-up Xyz monster you control, and you can only special summon it once per turn this way. When you do, you can special summon another Gimmick Puppet Nightmare from your hand or graveyard. If this card is special summoned, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Gimmick Puppet monsters. Certainly not the worst of the bunch, seeing how it works with the rank 8 focused nature of the deck, but looking a bit beneath the surface, you can see that the downsides of the card kinda outweigh the positives. First of all, tributing an Xyz monster as a cost is kind of a big deal, but you could make the argument that it could be an Xyz monster that got hit by a fiendish chain or one that already used up all its materials, but then to make up for that minus, it requires another nightmare to already be in your hand or dumped to the graveyard, and while Gimmick Puppets have a fair share of graveyard setup cards, the cost of summoning this one combined with the requirement of having another one in your hand or graveyard already is a bit too much for the deck to handle. Also, it restricts you from Xyz plays other than Gimmick Puppets that turn, so you can't use your spicy tech, the gay Sea Castrator. So anyway, what is that thing? Did it really deserve whatever's happening to it right now? I can't hear what it's saying, but I can only deduce that it begs to die. What kind of hubris would one need to display in order to be convicted to a pile of glued pink corpses with a pair of mohawks? Maybe this is the guy that suggested Stratos should be banned? I guess we shall never know. As we approach the bottom of the box of despair, fittingly enough we're met by DD Pandora. Rocking the chastity belt, I gotta say, no Ds or let alone DDDs are gonna approach this piece of glass anytime soon. Anyway, it's a level 5 Dark Fiend with 1700 attack and 2100 defense, and when it's destroyed by battle or by your opponent's card effect while it's in your control and sent to the graveyard, while you control no cards, you can draw 2 cards. I could somewhat tolerate this if it was a level 4, of course with lower stats, because early DD as an archetype kinda used to struggle with draw power, and this would have been a halfway decent first turn option for them, provided they don't get OTK'd after Pandora dies. But that would make it a bit too generic, and also right now it's level 5, therefore cutting away at least 90% of any possible usefulness it might have had, and ends up being pretty much the exact opposite of what a draw power card should be. The funny thing is, the few people who actually ran Pandora did it solely for the gimmicky quick draw combo to go into Ultimaya, but since that was obviously not the intended use of the card, we have a nice example of a card being used for what it is as opposed to what it does. And now for the final entry on our—
Hey, Ben 10 Yogi Bear.
Fucking what?
No, hey, check it out. I found a really good one this time, I swear.
Somehow I don't believe you.
No, check this out. Ally of Justice Guardhog. I mean, he's an ally of justice, but he doesn't
Yes, I know, he was on the first video. He was on the first video on the fucking channel.
Well, yeah, I saw the video. That's how I know he fits your criteria.
Oh my god, let's just get this over with. The last terrible archetype support card today is Galaxy Stealth Dragon. A rank 4 Dark Dragon with 2000 attack and 1600 defense, and its effect is: once per turn you can detach one Xyz material from this card, special summon one Dragon type monster from your hand. Your opponent cannot target other Galaxy cards you control with card effects, and they cannot destroy them by card effects. So essentially it turns your galaxies into Magic Specters and allows you to easily pump out big ass dragons from your hand. All in all, a fantastic support card, if it wasn't for the summoning condition. 2 level 4 dragon type monsters. How many of those do galaxies have? 1? Let me rephrase myself. How many of those do galaxies want to run? None. 0. Nada. Zilch. No. This card literally has nothing wrong with it, but the archetype it's supposed to support barely has any relevant ways of summoning it, because their only decent level 4 cards are Galaxy Wizard and Photon Thrasher. Obviously not dragons if I ever saw any in my life. See this dragon? I see him every day, so I have some grounds on which to make this statement. The only way galaxies could ever play this somewhat consistently is if it was generic or a rank 8, but because it's none of those things, the closest they can ever get to using it is with a Rescue Rabbit and 2 Alexandrite dragons, and as we all know, being desperate for a Rescue Rabbit in the year of our Lord 2016 is unacceptable unless you're jamming with Frog the Jam. Ladies, Mental Gen, Railbacks and Railcars, thank you for watching this—
Alright, Thomas the Choo Choo Man, I think I got one for your list.
I'm sorry, what did you just call me?
Reptilian Servant. I mean, the whole Reptilian archetype revolves around making your opponent's monsters attack 0 and synchro summoning. And here's this non-tuner that doesn't help either of those things. Not only is it bad archetype support, it's a damn near useless card in general.
Actually, that's a pretty decent point. Good job, whoever you are, you actually came up with a card that fits the list.
Wow, really? Thanks, Asian Eyes, you're my favorite Yugi tuber.
Get the fuck out of my show.